Hello, YouTube. Yes, I have a box here full of packing peanuts. Let's see what's inside of this thing. Swim in the peanuts. I got all over the floor, man. It's a keyboard. Packing peanuts, why you do this? Anyway, yes. What we have here is a Compaq keyboard. It is a Compaq... Where the hell's the model number? Can't remember what it's called. Even though I ordered the damn thing. Let's just unwrap it. Screw it. Let's just unwrap it. I bought it off of eBay. And the seller seems to have wrapped it pretty well. Looks like it. This literally feels like thick saran wrap. So that might well be what it is. We'll just unwrap this. Okay, there we go. Now I have it unwrapped. Yes, Compaq has a registered trademark of Compaq. This is a model MX1100 keyboard. Now, the story behind these is that they were used in server racks a lot of the time back in the day. You'd stick them in like a little... I've seen these in what they used to be in, and it's like a little drawer type thing where they'd put this in the front. And you'd have a trackball, and you'd have a keyboard with a slightly thinner form factor than a regular keyboard at your disposal. And the reason I got this keyboard is because it's a cheap way to get cherry brown switches, and cherry brown switches feel pretty good. Packing peanuts. Now, a lot of people may cringe at the layout of this keyboard, but really, once you get used to it, it's not all that bad. And the form factor it has makes it awesome. That's the reason I got it, was mainly for the form factor. The F key layout is quite weird. It's just rows of keys here. Number pad's slightly elevated because there's a trackball down here. I don't even know how well that trackball works because I probably won't be using the trackball part of it. It doesn't have Windows keys. Not every switch is a cherry brown as well. I think the space is a cherry MX clear, whereas the rest are browns. This keyboard is practically brand new looking, which is insane. These things get old, and this thing is practically brand new looking, which is insane. The only evidence I see was used, there's like a little thing right there. I don't know what that's from, but it's very, very clean. There's not much wear on the space bar that I can see. They're not rubbed shiny. The enter key, you can see a little bit of wear if you hold up to the light. There's like a little bit of a spot right there, but not much. So how this connects to the computer is with two Ps2 ports. Typically, old computers came with PS2 keyboard and mouse, and this is why. What is this? There's like some crap on the key right there. Whatever, I'll worry about that later. But you can plug in the trackball here, and you plug in the keyboard here. I'm going to be using the keyboard portion. I won't be using the trackball because try playing a game with a trackball that small. It's just not going to happen. See, the way I use a trackball is I typically use my thumb. I do this. That's how I'd use that trackball. Because I have a thumb trackball next to my bed, and I'm used to using that. And using one with my fingers would just be really annoying to me. Cherry brown switches. I don't think that's a brown switch, it's probably a clear switch. Yep, this is going to be my new keyboard for upstairs here. And let me go get another keyboard to really show you the difference in length and why I like the form factor of this keyboard. Here's your comparison. Here's a Roswell RK9000, which is a very conventional layout of a keyboard. Cherry black switches. You can see that on a keyboard like this, it's actually shorter. The Roswells are pretty trim, but some keyboards are really fat around the edges, making them quite a bit longer than you'd want them to be. These Compaqs, when I was at a LAN party in June, these Compaqs were the only reason that we could fit 2 computers on this little coffee table in a room. That was the only reason, and that made me quite impressed with the form factor. The form factor of these is very nice for things like that, if you need to cram a bunch of keyboards together, and I think that's what they were thinking of when sticking them in a server rack. You needed a keyboard that was not as wide to fit into a server rack drawer, which is what these used to go in. So this is what I was using, which is an RK9000, which I love this keyboard, but I wanted brown switches because they're tactile. And this is my solution. Brown switches are a lot like blue switches, only they are tactile without as harsh of a bump and without the click. So they're a little bit more they're a lighter typing feel and a little bit they're light like blues, they're tactile like blues, but the bump isn't as noticeable. It's a lot more subtle, and it's just lighter to type on. These are nice keyboards if you want to pick up cherry switches on the cheap. These are definitely the ones to get. I picked this up for about $50 flat. And again, this is a Compaq MX 11. This is a Compaq model MX 11800. If you want to pick one up. These were made in the 90s, I think, and they were used for server racks. Commodity tracking number. Huh. It does have little feet with rubber on the bottom. If I'd focus the camera right. There we go. It does have these little feet with rubber on the bottom, so that's kind of nice. And they're not broken off, like most cheap keyboards are. Little rubber pads down here as well. The keyboard comes apart with Phillips head screws, which is very good to see. So if this keyboard ever has a problem, like a bad switch or something, I can just take a Phillips head and take this thing apart. And one thing I should mention about these is that unlike something like a Roswell RK9000, where they're mounted on a steel plate, you can actually see the steel plate under it. That's what the red is right there. These are mounted on a PCB, so you can just unsolder the switch from the circuit board and stick a new one on if one goes bad. So it's a pretty good deal as far as that's concerned. Let me see if I can get a key off and show you the. Yeah, there's the cherry brown switch right there. You can see it's called a brown switch because this little thing here is brown. But yeah, this thing has cherry brown switches in it, and that's one of them right there. That was the 8 key, so I'll stick that back on. There you go. And this is going to be my new keyboard for upstairs, so let's go plug it in. Well, the keyboard definitely works, so let's go to Notepad. And type random stuff into the keyboard and see how well it works. Appears to work absolutely fine, which is great to see. So this place will be getting good feedback. There you go. This keyboard, I'm liking it. So I got brown switches on the cheap, and this is one way to do so. This is also a way to get a cherry keyboard in general on the cheap with a full features. Even though the layout of the F keys is a little weird for some people, I had one friend who just thought the F key layout was horrible and wouldn't want it. When I was using one of these for about a week at a LAN party, I got used to it quite fast. This is not that bad once you just kind of learn it. So, you know, there you go. This is the Compaq MX 11800. They're on eBay if you want them. They're also in the Geek Hack Classifieds from time to time if you want to look in there. And there you go. They're looked down upon by a lot of keyboard enthusiasts, but honestly, honestly, for the money you pay for them, they're good enough. So, there you have it. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one, everybody. Ciao.